Hey guys, Neomis here. Now, just finished watching the Arsenal-Man City game, and I gotta say, let's start off with the positives before we all go to the negatives. So if you haven't seen it, spoiler alert, Arsenal lost the game 2-1. But so many good parts about this game in terms of the Arsenal performance, and I just gotta give them credit. So I'll start with the positives. Arteta and I don't know his assistant name, but maintained the same lineup as what they did last time, except this time Rob Holding didn't start. Tomiyasu is back, and he came in at right back. And again, it was another kind of consistent performance. So you got to say that he didn't do what I thought he might do, was kind of alternate patterns and play a little bit negative. He played exactly the same way. We executed it in the same way as that we done with any team, and it was working. Like, we played incredibly well. Really good play from all of the players, especially in that first half. Just complete control. And like earlier on, Martinelli getting so much joy down on that left and really kind of creating chances for the Arsenal attackers so that we could potentially score some goals. And he himself had a chance where he could have scored a goal, but wasn't quite to be at that moment. And you name it, from Ramsdale, I thought was really good. The defensive line, except for Gabriel, who I will get onto later on for obvious reasons. Thomas Partey, brilliant. I thought was probably one of the best players out on the pitch. Granit Xhaka, we'll get into later on. Obviously Martinelli, I've just talked about. Saka, brilliant there on that right. Odegaard playing very well. Lacazette also playing very well too. Just really another good consistent performance from the team, and that's really what you want. And I was surprised but also glad to see the consistency. Tomiyasu back and just performing really well, and just lots of good things go in. And you know, Arsenal scored the goal with play down the left, or starting centrally, then goes out to Kieran Tierney. Great assist from him. Feeds the ball into the box with just kind of a standard ground pass into Saka. And then Saka scores the goal. But what you don't see is something that was brought up by half-time by Joleon Lescott and Rio Ferdinand on BT Sport, is how pivotal Lacazette was in that play. The fact that he was there to block a lot of the to block, who was it, Nathan Ake from getting to Saka to potentially get involved. And that's just, there was so much players that did that. Like Odegaard was like that unsung hero. Martinelli didn't score a goal but played incredibly well. Same thing with Thomas Partey there. Ben White, I thought was good. Kieran Tierney obviously getting the assist. Played very well. So I mean, just lots of good things to work with. And you have to remember, like, it's Man City. You know, I don't expect us to get anything at Man City. I thought that this game, I did my preview yesterday, was going to be kind of a game for the neutrals, which in a way it turned out to be, but I got the scoreline completely wrong with that. It ended up being 2-1, but it probably shouldn't have been 2-1 to be really honest. In the end, probably should have been something closer to about 2-2. If we're going to be really honest about stuff. I think Arsenal definitely deserved the draw, and that's especially when you look at the penalty that was given and the penalty that was not given. So the penalty that was not given, Odegaard, like, they've done the reviews, and clearly Ederson, he does get some of the ball, but he has to go through the player's ankle to be able to do so. And if VAR had looked at that, it would have been a penalty. And I get the reason why around it, is that it wasn't clear and obvious for VAR to pick up. But when it's in that moment whereby it's really going to impact the game with another goal, it's so important to look at all of those. You know, at the very least, at least give the referee an option to say, maybe you should take a look at this. And then he could go and look at the screen and be like how I'm looking at you guys now, and then decide for himself. But you get none of that, because if the referee had ruled for a penalty and then VAR had come on, VAR would have said that it's not a clear and obvious error from the referee, so it would have just had the penalty stand. That's what it is, and it really all comes down to the referee unions, or whoever's in charge of the referees, them not wanting to let go of their power. Because I think we all know how this is going to go. In like 50, 100 years time, there will be no more refs. There will just be computers and machines doing everything that the refs do to make sure that every single thing is on point and is correct. That's what it's going to be like. And this is one of those games whereby if VAR had looked at everything, Arsenal would have had the penalty for Odegaard. It'd have been a soft one, but a penalty nevertheless. And then for Granit Xhaka, the one that City had, that was a penalty for me. Like, you can say all you want that I think Bernardo Silva, that he dived. It was a dive, but there was contact, and then there was a pull of the shirt. And if you pull someone's shirt in anywhere of the pitch, it's going to be a free kick. Just so happens that it's in the box. So that's where players like Granit Xhaka, for his stupidity, has cost Arsenal. And it's not all his fault, because I'm going to get to another player as well who's also, it's his fault. It's not all his fault, but you cannot do stuff like that. It's just so stupid. He should be really ashamed of himself, Granit Xhaka. He's had a few decent games recently, but I mean, he's just gone right back. I mean, if I'm going to give a rating for Xhaka alone gets a 3. You know, a few little nice patterns of play from him. Yeah, you saw the effort. I like the fact that when we went a goal down, he was pressing. Like, great for that. But mate, you are the abs. Like, why? Don't pull the shirt. There's no point. No point whatsoever. Then we got to talk about Gabriel. Now, I'm a massive fan of Gabriel. I think he's probably the best defender at the club. Just real dominant defender. That's what I like to see. But he's got David Luiz-itis in him. Every now and again, like, it was just two stupid yellows, just needless, like, not needed at all. Not needed at all. To get sent off with 2 yellows, nah. And this is where, like, you gotta say that Gabriel let the team down. I know that you can look at this and say Arsenal should have got nothing out of the game, which obviously they didn't. But this was at a point where things were a bit crucial, whereby you have to say that if Arsenal want to go and get the win, that they got to go and put pressure on the opponent. Like, with their attacking vibe, with the likes of Saka, with the likes of Martinelli, not trying to change systems to be able to make sure that you're covered defensively and try to get something of the game. We're in this position because of Gabriel getting sent off. We're now against 10 men against, you know, the Premier League winners. And for Arsenal to last as long as they did is another commendation, like, for them. Like, well done. You should have seen the images of them afterwards on the pitch, completely laid the fuck out. Tired, shattered. Ben White, shattered on the pitch. Like, that's what you want. That's what you want as fans, as football fans. And I love what I see. You know, the effort that they put in today. I don't think anybody gave them a chance to get anything out of the game. But just when you look at how close that it is. But just a big letdown from Gabriel, because personally, Man City were not at their best. Like, let's be really clear about this. This wasn't the Man City that peppered Leicester 6-3 and that beat us, 5-0 in the first half of the season. They weren't at the races today. They were poor. And this was an opportunity for Arsenal to go and beat them. I don't think you would have had a better chance than beating City apart from this game here. And we didn't take our chances. And I think that we were left virtually with one leg going out against the best team in the league, which is a shame. It's a real shame with how everything went overall. But positives, we played well. Let's continue this play. The next game that we have, I believe, will be Spurs, unless something changes whereby the Wolves game ends up getting rescheduled, because we still haven't faced Wolves at all this season. So that game needs to be redone. But my guess is that we'll be playing Spurs will be the next game. I think that's on the 16th of January, which is nice, because then it'll give us a lot of us to go up and start talking about transfers and who we're going to bring in and who's going to be staying, who's going to be going. Lots of excitement. I know every transfer deadline day and just January transfer window is like Christmas every day for football fans, and particularly for Arsenal fans. And you gotta say that long term, looking at what we're trying to build, it could be nice. Maybe we'll bring in some players on loan, but I'll try my best to keep up to date with everything that's going on. I'm trying again to be as consistent as I once was, but sometimes just life and family stuff just gets in the way. So yeah, but I hope you all could take some type of positive out of the game. Please don't be too disheartened. This isn't Arteta out. Like this is not Arteta's fault. This comes to the fault of two players, Granit Xhaka, Gabriel, and the referee. The referee not making great decisions, and the players putting the referee in the position to not make great decisions overall. But we got to remember that, you know, just keep going, doing what we need to do. We've got the gameplay, and it's just all about consistency going on. So Spurs are next. As you know, games against teams that are around us, minimum should be draws, no losses. So even if we wind up with a draw against Spurs, I think that would be absolutely massive for Arsenal. So, but I'll put our preview closer to the time. I'm sure there'll probably be some injuries, some comebacks, and potentially, who knows, maybe even some transfers. So let's see how all of that goes. But until then, do leave your comments below. Interested to hear what you guys have to say. I know a lot of people were going to be disappointed just how the game went, but don't be, because there are lots of positives to take from the game. And yeah, I will see you all next time. Peace.